In 1987, the production trio of Stock, Aitken, Waterman, aka The Hit Factory, had exactly that, a hit. They released a single with a new singer, a man who had been working in their studio for 2 years as a backup singer, as well as a production assistant. And that single topped the charts in 25 different countries, becoming the best-selling single of the year and was awarded Best British Single at the 1988 Brit Awards. Where the success story ends for most songs is just the prelude for today's track. The year is 2006, and the anonymous internet forum 4chan is in its infancy. This is not to say the site isn't all fucked up, it absolutely is, but it's not quite at its internet hacktivism stage, where news anchors mistake the entire website for one mysterious hacker. No, in this era, part of the Anon community is amusing itself with a bait-and-switch joke called duck rolling, wherein a user posts a link that claims to be one thing, but is actually a picture of a duck with wheels. This image is used because 4chan founder and moderator Christopher Poole created a word filter that replaced the word egg with duck. One thread on the forum contained the word egg roll, which was transformed into duck roll, and a user saw that and ran with it. The trend was rampant on 4chan, but it wasn't until March 2007, when the first trailer for hit video game Grand Theft Auto 4 dropped, that the bait-and-switch joke would take a new form and be adopted by the world as a whole. When Rockstar dropped the trailer for their then-upcoming game on their website, the servers crashed from fans scrambling to see it. In a beautiful example of internet nerd solidarity, users began uploading mirrors of the video on different sites to enable everyone to have a chance to see the new footage. Amongst these benevolent geeks was 4chan user and bad actor Sean Cotter, who claimed to have uploaded the video, but instead included a link to the most popular song from the year he was born. GTA fans eagerly clicked Cotter's link, hoping to see cutting-edge graphics, cool explosions, and cars being stolen. But instead, they were greeted with English singer Rick Astley, his beautiful voice, and an array of white-as-fuck dance moves. Quote, "It's a bit strange to have videos of when you were a young guy out on the internet. Makes me laugh. I'm sure it annoys a lot of other people. It's a bit spooky. It's just one of those odd things when something gets picked up and people run with it. That's what's brilliant about the internet," said Astley. Rick rolling, adapted from the aforementioned duck rolling, fully hit the mainstream by April of 2008, when YouTube famously had all the video links on their front page linked to Rick Astley classics instead of what they were purported to be on April Fool's Day that year. The same year, Astley wins the MTV Europe Award for Best Act Ever, an award that was decided by audience vote. Even as memes come and go, the world has never given up on this particular one. Though the meme was originally exclusively a bait-and-switch link to the music video, it has evolved over time to include textual references to the lyrics, where a seemingly real story is revealed to be a letdown once you realize it was just an elaborate song reference. Truly, this song has run around the globe and around all possible forms of media. Suffice to say, love it or hate it, this 80s classic is never going to desert the popular consciousness. That's right, we're talking Rick Astley's Never Gonna Give You Up on Cover Me. That's right, it's Cover Me, the only podcast that compares famous songs to their many cover versions to find out which one knows the rules. I'm your host, as always, The Snake, joined by my committed co-host,
Alex Mildenberger.
Alex Mildenberger.
Committed to you.
Committed to me or the listener?
The audience.
Ah, beautiful. You love to hear
course.
it. You're so lucky, the audience.
Yeah. Our audience. Who listens to this podcast?
So John.
So John.
Shout out to John.
Fatima listens.
Fatima. Okay, well, you should be committed to her for reasons beyond the podcast.
Yeah. There's that. I mean, that was a big part of why.
Yeah, I mean, if she stops listening, she's on thin ice.
Yeah. Never Gonna Give You Up. Rick Astley.
Yeah. We're finally done it.
We finally made it around to this. A song that we have, I mean, we were around when Rick rolling was starting.
Yeah.
I wasn't that active on the internet, but I was legitimately Rick rolled back in the day.
Yes.
With the whole, the pop-up comes up and it's not just watching the video, you can't close the
right, because you go to
window.
Click the X and it moves.
It just moves. And I mean, the only way I know how to get out of that is shutting the whole PC down. There's probably a better way. You can probably go into your task manager or something.
Yeah, I imagine you could do something like that, but
that was what I did at the time. I remember being real freaked out.
Yeah, you're
I was like, I broke the computer. I downloaded a virus.
that's how like viruses in movies are always depicted as that. Like some fucking goofy thing happens and then
like
severe
12
consequences.
pop-ups.
Yeah.
And then something happens that's just terrible and you wish it hadn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think I only remember it happening once, but I've been like soft rickrolled since then for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Because it happens all the time. Someone's like, hey, does anyone have a link to this? And they're like, yeah, here you go. And it's like, oh, it's just a YouTube link that they've hidden and I wasn't careful enough.
Yeah, to the point that some people are familiar with like the exact URL for the most popular like Rickroll video.
Yeah. Which is impressive.
It's impressive.
Well,
it still happens like in 2025. I've seen people dropping a Rickroll link.
Yeah, I mean it's got impressive legs. It's almost like I think it came back around. Like it was kind of like, you know, it passed a little bit and then it was kind of ironic for a while and then it resurged and then now it's like legacy, so it has some level of seniority to the point where it just sticks around, I think, or like it does, and now it doesn't happen as often, so like you don't expect it.
Right, so when it does come up, you're like, ah, shit, like it hit again.
Yeah, but it's kind of like it's fun, you know, because it's usually just because you were lazy and clicked a link without checking.
Yeah, if you'd thought for like 2 seconds, you'd be like, okay, this is probably not legit.
But it's also fairly harmless, especially when you don't have to worry about like not being able to close a window or something.
Yeah, and it is like it's a hit song. It was a hit song before the Rickroll, like a massive hit song.
Yeah, I mean, he had a career before then, right? Like, you look at his Rick Astley's career, it's not like that impressive, but like he's active from like the mid 80s to the mid 90s, kind of had a few hits, and then like stopped for a while and came back, but he put out a new album like 2010s kind of, right? Like he was inactive for quite a while, or relatively inactive for quite a while.
Yeah, he talks about like being kind of, he's like, well, I kind of saw the cards and like I knew I wasn't going to be able to ride out fame like in the 90s. He's like, it was kind of coming to an end for me. He's like, so I just took the money I had and he's like, I kind of gracefully bowed out. It's like, yeah.
Fair enough, Richard.
Fair enough, Richard Astley.
Richard Paul Astley. I don't know, I'm just looking at the Wikipedia version.
I'm also looking at that now.
But yeah, it's just kind of, it was like a respectable career for a pop star. That's not like that necessarily impressive, but like he did it.
Yeah, and he's like a true like a pop star in that he didn't write his music. He just had a good voice and was good looking enough to be in music videos.
Yeah, exactly. And he does have a good voice, right? Like he's got a kind of deeper, I mean, it gets described as blue-eyed soul.
Yeah,
which I
for
think
sure.
He fits, like his voice fits that. I don't know that his music does.
No, because it's made by this fucking hit machine.
It's
Hit
very
Factory.
like poppy, right? Yeah, it's Hit Machine.
Yeah.
So like he could do that. He could do, I mean, you know, he's not Michael McDonald, but like he's in that direction, right? So like he could do What a Fool Believes, you know?
Yeah.
He has, because nowadays he does like YouTube covers and stuff.
He does YouTube covers.
Pink Pony Club a little while ago.
That's right. He did an acoustic version of that. And
so like he's still going.
He's a good singer, and yeah, he's just kind of casually doing music these days. He's like, well, I like music. I'll play a few songs. Like I'll redo some of my own songs.
Yeah.
I'll do a bunch of covers.
I feel like he had a bit of a resurgence. I don't remember exactly what it was. I'm going to say about like 5 to 10 years ago. Well, 7 to 10 years ago.
Right.
Just because like he became more active on the internet.
Yeah.
And like started embracing the Rickroll and stuff like that.
I think his success was not embracing it too quickly.
It had to be kind of like wasn't like cool.
Yeah.
A 15 minutes of fame opportunity. Like I can get another 15 out of this.
Yeah, he wasn't like the Rick Astley revival tour is on.
Exactly. Like in 2006 or when was it
2007.
2007? Yeah, like it wasn't like 08 Rick Astley tour or anything like that. He like let it happen, and then when it came back he's like, okay, this thing has legs.
Yeah.
So everyone's familiar with Rick Astley, or at least this one Rick Astley song. For, you know, older people because it was actually popular, and then younger people because it's a meme.
Yeah.
Primarily.
But also like the meme had legs because of it, like this was a pop song, so even delivered, you know, 20 years into the future.
Still a pop song.
It was still poppy. Like it still hit.
Yeah.
Because that's how I think you and I were exposed. I didn't know this song before it became a meme.
No, definitely. I don't think I knew what a Rickroll was when I was Rickrolled, and I think I may have described it to you or something, and you told me that. Like, I don't have an exact memory, but like I did somehow find out like what a Rickroll was, or you were telling me about Rick. I feel like it was you or maybe Ronald or someone who like introduced me to the concept.
This is what I always find out that I introduce my friends to just the worst parts of culture.
I mean, so I like for me back then.
Yeah.
To, you know, still now sometimes, but less because it's silly when I describe it in a few seconds. Like, I was like, if there was something I didn't know about and someone, like, had to pretend I did, because I was like, I don't want someone to know that I don't know something. So someone's like, here, about this thing, and I'd be like, yeah. And I'd be like, I have no idea what they're talking about. But, like, I would just pretend like I did. So I think Rickroll was kind of like that. So you wouldn't have known that it was the first time I heard about it.
Right.
But I was almost certainly trying to, like, through context cues, figure out what everyone was talking about, and did determine what a Rickroll was. And I think I had already been Rickrolled at that time. So
yeah, so it was like puzzle pieces coming together.
Exactly.
For you treated all of life like some kind of film noir where you had to solve mysteries.
Exactly. I'm just looking around the room and there's just clues. Photo of Rick Astley. Someone's listening to the song in the background. Like, wow.
You go home to your fucking billboard with the strings and everything like tied to it. The corkboard.
Richard, Paul, Astley?
Astley?
Yeah, so I think that was probably where I first started. But, you know, we were pretty young, you know, at the time, 13, 14 years old. So it's hard to remember the specifics, but I do remember us talking about the song quite a bit. We talked about Rickrolls. We used to quote the song, sing it sometimes, and even in the 9th grade, we in gym class did a like dance project, and we did it to this song.
We certainly did, and I do remember that as well. So it was like one of those things, especially for me. It was like, oh, you start out ironically listening to it, you're like, oh, this is bad. I've been rickrolled. That's a negative thing. I've been exposed to something I don't want instead of what I do want. And then you listen to the music, you watch the video, which is its own level of crazy, and also directed by the man who directed Con Air.
Yeah, that's pretty wild.
That's pretty wild. And it's just like there's so many layers to what makes this thing, I think, work and stick in people's minds. And so, like, for me, like, turning around to loving the song unironically was pretty quick.
Yeah, I feel like I would like to understand the irony to sincerity pipeline a little better.
I think it's just all a matter of repetition. So much of like what makes us like things is familiarity.
Yep, that's true.
And so just constant exposure, you're just like, well, I know this is happening, this is coming up. You recognize things and your brain loves pattern recognition.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably most of it. There's maybe other parts to it, but like what makes like what makes it ironic at first? Is it just like a conscious decision that you're trying to not like something that your body knows you like, or I don't know?
Yeah, like where does that happen?
It's just some kind of social safety net where if somebody's like, "Hey, that's ass," you're like, "Yeah, I know,"
and then you keep doing it, and then people stop caring why, and then you realize you just do it, and that's pretty common, as I understand. I hear people talking about it a lot.
Yeah, people
anecdotally,
are talking.
Everyone does it. 100% of people.
100% of people do something ironically that they actually enjoy genuinely.
Yeah.
Like this lyric analysis, which
let's do it.
I do ironically, but I actually enjoy it.
Even
though I know it makes this podcast a high school English class.
The problem is if we start to get too like we've done it before, where we've been like, this song's ridiculous, let's pretend it's deeper than it is, and we're like, oh, maybe it is, though.
Yeah, because at some point you trick yourself, and you're like, well, hang on.
Like, no, it is still ridiculous, but, like, I'm too deep in it to understand.
I'm swimming in this song, and I'm like, actually, yeah, we are no strangers to love. That's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
It says so much. Which I think is the actual start of this. Genius has these, this intro lyric, desert you, ooh, hurt you. I don't hear that.
Yeah, I don't.
It's maybe from like a dance mix or something from this song, or like an album cut or something.
Yeah, maybe there's an album, but it's not like there's a bunch of other lyrics. I didn't see like an album version versus single.
Oh, you know what? It's mixed very low in the intro stuff.
It's really quiet.
Yeah, like 10 seconds you can hear it, and you can hear the ooze.
Yeah, I mean, it hardly registers as vocals.
Yeah,
I hear
it
the
sounds
ooze.
more like, you hear the ooze, and even, like, I hear his voice just barely, and it's just like, doesn't sound like words.
So quiet.
It's so quiet, dude. It's the quietest fucking
might as
thing.
well not be there.
Yeah.
But it's there. Desert you, hurt you. That's funny.
That's funny. So a little, like, subliminal taste of what's to come.
Of what's to come, and that's that. I mean, so what's the song? You know, it's not that complicated. It's not a very complicated song. What's the title? Never Gonna Give You Up. It's about being, I mean, you said it, dedicated before, right?
Yeah.
About being dedicated, and like all the different ways that is true, and like why Rick Astley is, or like how Rick Astley is different and like better because of that.
Yeah. Someone described him with the last line of verse 1 as being like a used car salesman, which I think is pretty good.
We can get this, yeah.
So the first verse is, we're no strangers to love. You know the rules, and so do I. A full commitment's what I'm thinking of. You wouldn't get this from any other guy.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the big idea here is that it's, or maybe not the big idea, one of the ideas here is playing off the concept that, like, men are non-committal.
Right, I guess so, yeah.
Right? So, like, which is kind of a common stereotype, you know?
Yeah.
But this guy's saying, like, I am different because that is not me. And, like, both of, you know, it introduces the story, too. Like, they're both people who've been in relationships in the past.
Yeah, we're experienced in love.
Yeah.
We know what it's about. Here's my offer, a full commitment.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm committed. Like, I'm into this, and what do you think? That's my unique selling point. It also references the idea of, like, the rules of love, which I guess we still get, but I feel like was, like, a bigger thing back in the 80s, maybe the 70s, too, where it's like, love's a game.
Right.
And we're all playing, you know, and it's like, I know the rules of love, so, like, why don't we just, I don't know. It's kind of a funny metaphor that I half understand.
Yeah, it's kind of like
we know what
the expectations of love are, what the social norms are. Like, we know what to do. We know the dance, right? We know the rules.
Yeah. So, I mean, it is interesting, though, kind of, like, he talks about the rules and then says, like, but I'm fully committed. Which, like, if this is an introduction, is, like, not really following the rules, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's significant at all.
But
no, it's not, because they've known each other for a long time.
They've known each other for a long... I guess I was going to say we're no strangers, but that's to love. But in further verses, he talks about how they've known each other for so long and how her heart's been aching, but she's too shy to say it.
Yeah.
Yeah, full commitment's what he's thinking of. Do you think he was talking to Dolores O'Riordan here?
He's a GI or whatever.
Yeah, he's a soldier.
He's a soldier. I mean, he is actually English, which I forget about sometimes.
I forget that all the time.
But he was born in, like, Lancashire,
Mm.
West England.
That's a song referenced in a Beatles song, I believe.
Oh,
I think so. The one where the holes are rather small.
Fixing a hole where the rain gets in. Is that the one?
No one else was really sure if it was from the air, but I'd love to do. What's the name of that song? I read the news today, oh boy.
Is that A Day in the Life?
That is the one, my man.
I know the news was rather sad. Yes, the whole okay, I remember.
Yeah. House of Lords.
That's the one.
It is in that song, right? I'm not crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
For 1,000 hours at Blackburn, Lancashire.
Yeah.
I had to look up the lyrics.
I guess so.
Sorry, bud. I hate to be right, but I'm right.
I hate that too.
I hate how far off track we've gone from these
Let's
lyrics.
get back to this. Anyway, so, like, they're both in the British Isles, I'm going to say.
They're in the British Isles, which has no bearing on this song.
There's some proximity.
I was going to say about this, Pete Waterman, one of the three members of Aitken,
I don't know.
Waterman, whatever the last guy was, Stock. This is apparently inspired by his relationship with a woman he'd been seeing for 3 years. A Song Facts quote says that Astley said to him the line, "You're never going to give her up." I don't know if that's true, but apparently it is inspired by this relationship.
That's the story. Fun fact about Matthew James Aitken. He grew up in a place called Astley.
Nice.
That's fun. That's enough fun facts for now, though.
Enough fun facts. And now I'm back into hard lyric analysis.
Yeah, hard lyric analysis. So, yeah, I mean, he's presenting his case, right? You're right.
Yes.
He sounds like a salesman, kind of.
Yeah, you wouldn't get this from any other guy. Almost sounds like a neg. Like he's like, no other dude wants you that
no,
bad.
No one else wants you.
Nobody else really wants you.
Like, he's probably saying, like, no one else is committed enough to do this, but he does kind of sound like that.
Yeah, I think he's trying to compare himself to other guys and not her value in the eyes of other men.
I'm the only one who values you, who sees your... anyway.
But he explains himself in the pre-chorus. I just want to tell you how I'm feeling. Gotta make you understand.
Yeah, and it's also... I mean, this is, like, later 80s song, so we're moving into this, like, maybe more sensitive
the
idea
sensitive man
of masculinity. Or, like, it certainly somewhat evokes that.
Right.
I remember just watching like a weird round table that was on MTV or something in like the early 90s, and I think Dave Chappelle was there, and like some other I don't know who else. But they were just talking about like, what do you think about this idea of the modern man and sensitivity? So I always in that time period think about like, was that what people were talking about?
I can kind of see it because you get Yacht Rock before this, which also has the kind of sensitive man.
Yeah.
And then if I'm thinking of an endpoint of it that happens like alongside grunge, which is like the antithesis of that, is like boy bands.
True.
Who are like kind of hypersensitive and hyper marketed towards like girls, which is not out of the question. We've had pop idols for a long time, but that seems like kind of your chart there.
Yeah. And like, was it as big a deal as that weird round table made it out to be? Because that's like one data point, right?
Yeah.
I don't know, but I do think about that sometimes.
Certainly a trend, because in the 80s you also have hair metal. You kind of have two extremes going on at the same time.
The 80s were weird because they were also kind of like hyper masculine, because like hair metal as compared to like glam rock was a little bit more like there was some androgyny there, but it was like a little more like hyper masculine.
Yeah, it was a little like tougher.
Yeah,
like
especially with like Motley
long
Crue.
hair and makeup, but you had like leather studs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm thinking of like Kiss, who kind of dropped their face paint and stuff.
Oh, that's right, they did.
Anyway, I don't know.
So
it's there was stuff going on. Yeah, and didn't like disco.
But yeah, you have what is a pop trend here of the sensitive man. I think it's safe to say that this is on trend, especially coming from the Hit Factory. Like it feels like it's in there. I just want to tell you how I'm feeling. Got to make you understand.
Talk about feelings.
Talk about feelings is what the pre-chorus says. The chorus says, never going to give you up, never going to let you down, never going to run around and desert you, never going to make you cry, never going to say goodbye, never going to tell a lie and hurt you.
Yeah. A lot of claims. Obviously doesn't want to cause this person any pain, which, maybe not realistic, because things in reality are usually messier than all that, but he's clearly just saying he's dedicated.
I mean, the ones he can definitely like hold to are never going to give you up. Yeah. That's possible. Never going to run around and desert you. Those are doable. Those are achievable goals.
Those are achievable.
Never going to say goodbye. Kind of the same as deserting you, really.
Yeah.
The way you are going to say goodbye to this person in
because sometimes you're going to not be together, right?
Yes.
But like he means final goodbye.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And never going to tell a lie and hurt you is interesting because he attaches the and hurt you to that.
Yeah.
Meaning that he will maybe tell white lies.
Exactly. Maybe I'll lie if it doesn't hurt you, or hurt you if it doesn't involve a lie.
Never going to combine the two. Yeah, now we're getting to real logic problems.
Yeah, exactly. Like, wait a minute. I didn't say that. But all the other ones, it's like, well, you can try your best not to do those things, but
it's like, yeah, you may let them down. You are probably going to make them cry at some point.
Happen. Yeah.
But yeah, it's I'm going to be there for you. I'm going to do my best. You won't get this from any other guy. I'm super committed.
Yeah.
This is what he's detailing the full commitment package.
Exactly. And then he's about to tell her how she knows already, kind of.
Yeah, he's like, don't fool around here, lady. We both know what's going on. He says, we've known each other for so long, your heart's been aching, but you're too shy to say it. Inside, we both know what's been going on. We know the game, and we're going to play it.
They do know the game.
They know the game. They know the rules. They know the game.
They know this game. They're going to play the game. It does still kind of sound like he's asking her out for the first time. Like they know each other, but haven't been like dating.
Well, yeah, the line "your heart's been aching, but you're too shy to say it" implies some longing. So they've known each other, but they haven't really acted on these feelings.
They got the tension. So that seems to be the story here, and he's this dedicated guy. Or at least he's presenting that way. I mean, the song doesn't imply any like that he's lying or anything.
Yeah, well, verse 2 especially is taking quite an authoritative tone on what the relationship has been thus far. Yeah, we both know what's been going on. And he even goes so far as to say, we're going to play the game. Like, he's speaking for her here and be like, you're in on this. It's too late.
We're going to do it. No choice. You don't need to... Like, I know already that you want to.
Yeah, and then backing up verse 2 is the pre-chorus where he's like, and if you ask me how I'm feeling, don't tell me you're too blind to see. He's like, you know how I'm feeling as much as I know how you're feeling.
Yeah, because they both know. It's just, they know because they've known each other for so long.
So long.
They already know.
Inside, they both know what's been going on. Mm-hmm. They know the game.
They know the game. They're going to play it.
They're going to play it. It's pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
And we have to trust that he is speaking correctly here and is not just a weirdo putting on this love story.
Yeah, that doesn't seem to be the story of the song.
Doesn't seem to be the story of the song. This is about a committed guy. We hit the chorus again. That's really most of the song, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, there's a bridge, but it's all...
Never gonna give, never gonna give.
Never gonna... and all of that, and then, like, repetition. So, like, that's it. That's your song.
Really it. Two verses.
Two, like, variations on the pre-chorus.
Yeah, essentially, like, verse 1, I love you. Verse 2, you love me. It's fucking Barbie, dude.
More or less. And, like, we're gonna do this thing. Which is dating, presumably.
Yeah, we're gonna play the game of love.
Yeah,
which involves dating.
I guess he doesn't say that explicitly, but
I mean, with love, you got to have like implications. If we were to explicitly lay out each detail of what a full commitment involves, I once had a person explain to me what a relationship with them was like, and they're like, "Okay, after a year or two, we'll do this, and then like 3 years in, it'll be that." I was just like, I didn't even know we were dating. It's like a job interview, and I was just like, I don't want this. Okay. So if you had that in the song, I feel like it would come off a little strange.
Yeah, and it's hard to rhyme too.
That's true as well. What would you rhyme with prenup?
No, I don't know.
No, what would you rhyme with prenup? I'm trying to think of it now.
I mean, surely. I mean, that's not that difficult, I think.
Drink from the same cup.
Drink from the same cup, yeah.
Adopt a new pup.
Adopt a new pup.
All kinds of stuff. Kind of part of the commitment part. You get a pet together. You know what? Let's make Never Gonna Give You Up with a clear detailing of full commitment.
Detailed version.
And a timeline, dates, and everything. No, let's talk about the instrumentation.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's talk about the instrumentation. It's a lot of like synthesizers. Yeah,
we got a Fairlight CMI adding the strings on this song, which are like an integral part of the song.
Yeah, I mean it's a big like '80s sound, right?
Yeah,
Fairlight CMI. Computery synth, you know.
Yes. Yeah,
I think it's a computer.
Isn't it like computer music instrument or something? CMI?
Probably.
It definitely has a monitor attached. I looked at the image of it again. Yeah. I didn't bother to look up what the...
Big synth. That's the one that like Peter Gabriel used a bunch, right?
Yeah, I believe that's correct. But yeah, you got the Fairlight CMI strings. You've got like a synth bass holding down a kind of, I think they call it a syncopated groove.
Sure.
You've got fucking Rick Astley on the vocals. Everybody knows what this song sounds like.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess to describe, like, the strings themselves, that's like a kind of riff, you know? And that's like, after the, like, drum roll intro, that's the, like... Because that comes in so fast. That's one of the reasons I think it works as a Rickroll. Because it gets to it so fast. You know?
Your kind of punchline is right away.
With a slow song.
You hit big drums that pan left and right, quick roll, like very punchy. It's like you immediately know something's gone wrong.
Yeah, and then it jumps into that riff, and you're like, "Oh right, I've been Rickrolled."
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I don't usually make it that far, like further than this, I should say. But,
Yeah, usually you hit the strings, you're like, fuck.
Yeah, you're like, they got me. But that's kind of the first part of the intro.
Mm-hmm. And the bass kicks in that boom, ba-dum, ba-dum, dum, dum,
Yep.
ba-dum, da-dum, da-dum.
Very synthy, cool stuff. There's also horns, right? Horn synth?
Yeah, there is a brass element to this. Is it in the intro?
Seems to be. It just plays like little short licks at the ends of the like riffs. And it plays da-da-da-da.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So like horn blasts. Pretty standard stuff. I think. And then there's also like this kind of bright digitally piano sound. We're probably back on the Fairlight.
Yeah, probably.
But yeah, it's that kind of like EP piano combo.
Just kind of like chord fills.
Just chords. Yeah. So that's kind of how that's the intro.
Yeah.
Really.
And like when we hit the verse, we get like kind of hand drumming or like a different kind of like almost a woodblockish drum in your right speaker. Actually, it's there even in the intro. It's like a cowbell or something. It's very like dull.
It's really dull.
Yeah.
Just sound like some kind of block. I don't know. It's just like
yeah.
Could be more. I mean, it's all, I assume, all drum machine because it sounds very machine.
Yeah, this is a purely synthetic instrumental.
Yeah, very synthetic.
Which is fine. Totally good. It works.
Yeah, that's just the sound of it, right? And it's like 87, so we're like kind of early enough days that it's not as like nowadays it's maybe easier to like disguise that or something. But
right.
The style is a little older.
But yeah, in 87 you kind of had to just lean in full, and they do.
Yeah.
Even Rick Astley's vocals, like when he says so do I, we get the echo on the vocals, which is synthetic, and then we get that enhanced by a new synth playing that same note, so do I. So we have these big digital moments. Like we're not shying away from the synthetic factor here.
That's kind of like the midway point, right? It's kind of because it's sort of like right there things start to like spread out. Like there's
it's like a
sound.
pickup kind of moment, and because then it's you wouldn't get this from any other guy. We that's where things start to run.
Briefly.
Mm-hmm.
Briefly, but it kind of does at the end of the lines. And then you get the like horn, and then it like builds into the pre-chorus.
And then a tight drum roll, and then I just want to tell you how I'm feeling. We get to that pre-chorus.
Yeah, and then that synth from before is like back, the wider synth.
Yeah. It's like the synth bass on this like kind of just holds down a lot of the verse. A lot of the movement is carried in auxiliary synths, like that sort of broad synth you were talking about.
Yeah.
And in the drum rolls.
Yep, drum rolls, and then for the like section transitions, and then of course Rick singing.
Yeah.
I guess.
Because the interesting thing is the chorus instrumentally is actually just the intro instrumentation.
Yeah, they bring that string riff back, and then he's just singing his vocal part, but like that's pretty much it, right?
Yeah, and backed by ladies now.
He's got backup
full
vocals.
Work here.
Backup vocals. They're in full force, doing their thing. We'll see them in the video. Ooh, kind of.
Yeah.
Well, there's dancers in the video.
There are my God, there are dancers in the video.
There are so many.
Second verse, pretty much same as the first until like we hit pre-chorus and there's a new guitar on the track.
Okay, it's just the guitar, eh?
I think so. That's the only new thing I noticed.
Yeah, I didn't notice anything else.
And like maybe bonus like synth horn. But
that's
we get this
on the pre-chorus itself?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Don't tell me you're too blind to see.
Yeah. There's another dum 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 the like sound. Sounds like almost like a hollow pipe.
Okay.
I don't know exactly what it is. I mean, I'm sure it's synthesizer. But, it's got a hollow sound to it. On the left side. 117.
117. Yeah, I think that's that guitar I'm talking about, isn't it?
It's a guitar, like plucking a string?
Dun, yeah, kind of almost like a funk guitar, but not fully funked.
Okay, I see that. Yeah, I can see that. It's a new sound, anyway.
It is a new sound. It's that new sound you're looking for.
Yeah, and I do think it sounds hollow.
Yeah, I would agree to that. The next kind of big move here is the bridge then, right?
The bridge, yeah.
Yeah. About 2-minute mark.
So this, it's all bass right at the start.
Yeah, like that bass consistent almost throughout.
And backup vocals. Ooh, give you up. And then they kind of do a cool thing because that's when Rick comes in with never gonna give, never gonna give. So it's like combining. Exactly. So you get the whole line with some of that repetition.
Yeah, it's almost like a dance breakdown.
Yeah. Very like synthy pop song, dance breakdown. It makes sense.
It makes a lot of sense.
We danced to this, I think.
Yeah, we did.
In the 9th grade.
In the 9th grade. We move into like a breakdown verse 2.
We repeat the second verse,
which has like a highly emphasized like that woodish percussion like drum noise.
Yeah, it's like that. It's like the cymbals from it's also the drum machine, but yeah, you get a lot of that part.
Yeah.
At least just at the start. Once you get to the second part, actually no, it keeps going. It still plays that other synth though.
Yeah, just a bit of it. Yeah.
So that's fun.
But it is like the drum breakdown, and then a little extra synth. But then we pick up, and then it's outro from here. We ride the chorus.
Yeah. Pre-chorus, chorus, and then it just like fades out for a while.
Yeah. Pretty classic pop.
Yeah, that's it though, I think. I mean, fun string riff. There's some pop songs with good string riffs. There's this one. There's Toxic. Toxic's got that, which is a sample, of course. And then I'm thinking Call Me Maybe.
Call Me Maybe. Dun, dun, dun.
There's more, I'm sure, but these are the 3 that I can think of off the top of my head.
What's that harmonics game where you have the cards with the riffs?
Oh, yes. That's I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head.
God.
Something Drop Mix.
Drop Mix. Yeah, that has the Carly Rae Jepsen strings as an element you can add.
No, that's a fun one to add to just any song.
Just anything. Yeah, they're so crazy. Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, I love dropping that. Haven't played it in a long time.
No,
but my brother does own that.
I gave it to my sister for her birthday one year. Just the base pack, because you can get all those expansions and shit. But
there's tons.
And this was years after Drop Mix had like come and gone.
Yeah, so if you could find them, well, there was a while where they were really cheap.
Yeah,
because it did not sell well. So I think when my brother got it was like deeply discounted.
Right.
I'm sure it's more expensive now.
Yeah, things have flipped around, and it's like scarcity and all that.
Yeah.
But
that's how it goes.
What's not scarce is this music video directed by Simon West, which has more than 1.6 billion views on YouTube.
Yep, it's up there. Presumably due in no small part to Rick rolling.
Yeah, which is interesting because it wasn't the original Rick roll video.
Oh.
Because there wasn't one that was literally titled Rick Roll that got a lot of hits back in the day. But then it was taken down. And of course, we have the Rick Astley official channel one now, which I don't know exactly when it came into power, but long enough to get 1.6 billion views.
Yeah. October 25th, 2009 is the date on the video.
Oh, yeah. I guess I could have just checked that.
There was one I was watching for a bit that was like remastered in 4K, but it's just someone's like AI upscale, I think.
Yeah. Don't need that.
But I just saw that it wasn't official and I stopped watching it.
That's fair. So this was filmed in London in the Harrow Club. I don't really know much about that place.
No.
The features in this video are, of course, Rick Astley and the bartender being the other incredible character dancer, Clive Clark.
Yeah. And there's a few other dancers as well.
Yes, there are.
There's like 3 or 4 notable dancers. I mean, Rick, of course, being the first one.
Yes.
Doing this little shuffly dance.
Yeah, this kind of like stepping from side to side, swinging the torso a bit.
Yeah.
And moving the arms around.
Definitely very like I'm dancing, but also not moving too much so the microphone can hear me.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
Staying in frame. The like sharpness of some moves, the way he'll like fully like gesticulate to the left of himself and like the whole. There's like. It's so weirdly precise in moments while being this generally loose shuffle. There's a moment later on where he like grabs his suit jacket and like pops it open like there's going to be a gun there or something. Yeah. It's a stupid dance. It's a legendary dance.
Oh yeah.
It's the first thing you see. Another reason this video works so well is that you're greeted by this fucking dickhead.
This guy who like looks like a bit of a dork.
Yeah.
In like an old school kind of way.
Oh yeah, he looks hip for the time, but like definitely a fucking dork.
But then I'm like, his voice is deeper than he looks.
Yes.
Like the voice coming out of him doesn't like quite match in my head. So I know that's like an aspect. I'm like, wait a minute.
And now I do believe that actually is part of the origin story here. I spent so much of the intro talking about just the Rick rolling.
Right.
But if I can find the note here, apparently they didn't believe, like the record label did not believe that Rick Astley sang it. They're like, I don't fucking think so. So they were like, okay, we'll just bring Rick in, and then he sings it to him, and they're like, oh, okay.
Okay.
He's like, that's
yeah, he doesn't look like the voice that comes out of him doesn't match.
I know, he's a tiny looking guy, and then he's got this big fucking voice. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's good.
So he's got a few different outfits in this.
He does. Apparently his own clothes.
Oh my god.
Did see an interview where he said when they were filming the video, he just like showed up with a bag of his own clothes. And it's like low budget because he wasn't really popular.
Yeah, it makes sense.
At the time. So yeah, it's his own stuff.
So we've got kind of the scene of him with the like almost mosaic window behind him.
There's kind of 3 different scenes, 3.5, because there's like a close up of him, and like you said, there's the window behind him, but there's kind of a sheet between them.
Yeah.
And then there's one where it's pulled out, and I think it's the same window, but like there's no sheet, and like he's on a stage.
Yeah, where we're finally like actually in the Hero Club.
Yeah.
We've got that. We've got where he's in the fucking sewers or something.
Yeah, it's like nighttime with a brick wall with archways behind him, and there's, I don't know if they've set up a light to make it look that way, or there's legitimately water reflecting light, but it looks like there's water reflecting light. Yeah. I think it's just a light because it's not on him.
It looks like he's doing like some down dirty deal in the canals or something.
It does. But it's just like, no, there's a lot of brickwork in London.
Yeah, I guess. Like this one could be a soundstage too, where it's just like the basement of this Hero Club. Like I really don't know.
That's true. It does look like it could be a set. But I don't know, like the bricks don't look fake. I feel like if it was a set, the bricks would look fake.
Right. It does look like and there's like a street lamp there.
Yeah.
It's an odd placement, and of course he's wearing his trench coat, as we now know. It's his.
Yep. And turtleneck.
And turtleneck. In case he needs to get into some real espionage work, he just takes the trench coat off.
Mm-hmm.
And then him in like all blue, almost the Canadian tuxedo, if the shirt was a different material, by a chain link fence.
Yeah, that's great.
Apparently there was a 2-hour argument between Simon West, the director, and Rick Astley's manager about whether or not Rick Astley's sleeves should be rolled up.
Wow.
I don't know who was on which side, but they're rolled up here, baby.
Rolled up. I hope the manager wanted the sleeves rolled up. I'm not sure why, but that seems more appropriate to me. So this is rolled up. See, I feel like they should be rolled up further, honestly. If I was in that argument, I would be for rolled up, but further than they are. I wonder if this is a compromise.
I wonder, and I've also heard recently that when you're rolling up sleeves for TV, you don't roll them up all the way, because if you do like the full roll up to like the elbow, they look strange.
Really?
Really, yeah. It's apparently a thing, and it's a Hollywood secret.
Okay, that does make sense. I guess that would explain maybe why they're arguing. Of like, one guy's like, no, I do TV all the time. I know what I'm talking about. Like, we can't roll up the sleeves or it'll look silly for XYZ reason.
Right.
Which still doesn't really make sense to me, because it does look like they're not rolled up far enough to me.
It does, yeah, so maybe they just like didn't do it right. But also, like you said, Rick Astley just kind of looks goofy, especially here with his sunglasses on. So
yeah,
it's
he just looks like kind of a small guy.
Yeah, he just looks like a little dude.
And maybe that's the framing of the video
here too. That could be it.
But anyway, what happens in the video? I mean, it goes between those spaces a lot. There's not really a story in the video, other than it does escalate. Like, the video escalates, don't get me wrong, but it's not really telling a story.
The story, I would say, is what if a bartender got enchanted by, a blue-eyed soul singer?
That's like the narrative.
Maybe the real narrative, or the closest thing we have to one here.
Because he's performing in this, what's the club?
The Hero Club.
Hero Club. And, I mean, it looks like a wedding reception to me, because it's like tables with chairs and like a potential dance floor and a little stage.
Yeah, so they're like presumably sound checking. The bartender like let him in. He's like,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, set up, do whatever you need to do.
It's like evening, but not quite nighttime.
Yeah.
And then he's got his 2 dancers. And then he does this thing, and the bartender slowly like, maybe we'll throw my rag up in the air and like catch things.
Yeah, he like very slowly, like the first shot we get of him, like 53 seconds, he's wiping the table and it kind of looks up.
He's like, I don't know about this Rick Astley character.
Yeah.
But then he starts to like
starts grooving.
Groove a little bit. He lays his cup. He throws his cup up and like flips it.
Yeah, he's cleaning stuff in a cool way now because the music's so cool.
Yeah. It's to the beat and all that. And then like within not very long, I mean there's more cuts, but then he starts to actually dance.
Yeah, it starts pretty small, like he's just like moving. He starts doing some spins, and then like 1 minute 20 seconds he does the jump splits.
He does the jump splits and like kicks his hands with his feet and his legs all the way out. Very impressive. I mean, he's obviously a dancer.
Yeah.
And then like does a flip over the bar.
He does the Running Man first.
Oh yes, he does
like
that
a variation of it. But then he fucking flips over this bar.
Which is pretty cool. So he's clearly into the song, as he should be.
And that's a tight spot. You look where he's flipping. Like, he could easily knock over those glasses or those candles.
True. It's dangerous.
It's a dangerous move, but he pulls it off.
Woo!
And the music is so good that it frees this bartender, to dance in other places.
Yeah. Then he goes outdoor. Well, does he go outdoor first?
He goes outdoor first because he jumps against the chain link fence.
Okay, so we see him during the daytime first.
Yeah.
There's another dancer though that we're introduced to first.
That's true. We've had the lady dancers. We get the other blonde dude dancer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just jumps against that fence. Oh my gosh.
It's an iconic moment.
So I mean, I remember it was again either you or Ronald who just told me about that part because I never noticed it.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd ever watched it.
It's such a quick shot.
And he just kind of bounces off the fence.
Yeah.
And the other like blonde male backup dancer, and then they're just
who's then kind of like reintroduced in this alley setting where the dancer Clive Clark now does flips and does these like horror movie turns to camera.
Does he actually like stare at the camera? Like
in the second flip he does around, let me see here. Around 2:45 here, he does a run up the wall flip, and then does this freaky like drop he turns his head at an angle as he faces towards the camera.
Oh, and like smiles. Yeah, that is a bit creepy.
Yeah.
But although before that, there's like a dance solo from the other dancer.
Yeah, he's doing like some spins and stuff.
Spins on his knees.
Yeah, almost like choreographed, like he throws his arms up when Never Gonna Give You Up is said. Like you almost think he's doing like a very deliberate dance to the words.
Like pointing up when he says up.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much, like, that's most of the video. The only other notable shot is when it goes back to that club and now the camera's behind the bar.
Right.
Like you see everyone in the shot at the same time. And he's still dancing. So I don't know. I guess that's after.
Yeah, he had to go back behind the bar.
He like goes back and is like, I'm still dancing, but I actually still have to do my job,
have to clean. Like I do got to prepare for the wedding or whatever is tonight.
But I'm having a good time. And yeah, like that's the video. Again, like the narrative, not much of it, but like it's fun. It's a fun video.
You're here for the dances, you know? And yeah, baby, they got YouTube commented on this 3 days ago, weirdly enough.
Oh. YouTube itself?
YouTube itself said, can confirm he never gave us up.
And then Rick Astley gave it a heart.
Gave it a heart and has pinned it, so it will always be the top reply from here on out.
Oh.
Iconic music video. Is it actually a good music video? No, I don't think so. I think in terms of music videos we've watched, like it's got some production behind it. Like you said, it's a little low budget, but like we've got choreography, we've got things, there's movement, but it's not like a real thoughtful music video.
No, not really. They don't have to be necessarily. This is just like joyfully dancing though. Like that's pretty much
that's
it.
part of
It
what
is
has
fun.
also rocketed it to this meme status, is that it is just like like it was there so they could put it on MTV.
Yeah, it feels. I mean, the song feels very sincere, right? It has a sincerity that maybe would encourage people to approach it ironically. Again, we're talking about irony before.
Yeah.
And like the irony to sincerity thing. This is like, I think if you want to do something ironic, then if it's related to something that is very sincere, that makes it easier because you don't have to deal with like levels of irony.
Yeah, it's...
So this is like so sincere, and especially the music video, because it's just like joyful and like we're dancing, and there's not even like it's not like there's a man character and a woman character, or even like two characters
there's
that
not
are
two lovers.
Yeah, to be more generic, there's not two lovers or anything. There's just a bunch of people dancing.
Yeah. So it is, yeah, you're right. It is like genuine in every sense, because they're just like, we just need a couple dancers and Rick Astley, and we're going to dance out to this danceable pop song.
Yeah.
That's the music video.
And I mean, that's kind of probably the reason the song exists.
And Rick Astley is going to wear his clothes. Like it's even genuine in that sense. It's like, this is what the man was dressing like in 1987.
He really liked light blue.
Yeah. Hey, it looks kind of good. Like, I mean, he does look
good.
like a little guy, but it looks pretty sharp.
Like outside with the sunglasses?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
But that's the music video. You all know it. You didn't need to hear us describe it. We could have gone into even more granular detail. There's like little gestures he does. He does that like shake the finger no at one point.
Yeah.
There's all these little details.
He's ad lib. He's improvising.
He's improvising. He's a master improviser. I've always said that about Rick Astley.
Yeah.
But enough about the original, the master, all this greatness. We got to move into covers after.
We do.
This short break.
Bum, 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 ba-da-bum. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-da-bum.
We're back talking Never Gonna Give You Up covers starting in the year 1993 with FKW.
FKW. I didn't actually look up what that means.
So that is for Tony King is the K. Pete Waterman is the W, who you might recognize from Waterman, Aitken, whatever. And Ford
King Waterman
is the F.
Oh, okay.
So it's Ford King Waterman.
Right. I see. I had Waterman and King. I didn't find Ford.
I did find Ford. There was also a fourth guy who joined, I think, later named Dave Fordis.
Who's Phil France?
Phil France. Oh, maybe that's the guy I was thinking of. Phil France joined later.
Okay.
Dave Fordis is the Ford, and Phil France joined later. So this is like a post Hit Factory project for Pete Waterman. They get a guy to sing on this called Steve Lee, and this is it's a Eurodance. It's a 90s Eurodance version.
Yeah. Okay. This is the Eurodance version. Still kind of Hit Factory. Yeah, it's a dance version. It's 1/3
of the Hit Factory.
Very much that. It's 1/3 of the Hit Factory. That's enough. And
you get like the kind of like hype up keys. Dance,
playing that. Is that like is there a name for that riff?
I don't know what that is, but they chop up the synth riff into that riff.
Yeah. And just kind of like establish that beat, right? But then they bring in like the bridge early on. And that's never gonna give, so that's fun.
Yeah, which, like we mentioned in the original, is kind of the dance break section. So they just say, well, let's do that for our Eurodance version.
Yeah, it makes sense to have.
That comes in with a little synth arpeggio. We've got like a Boots and Cats like percussion. It's pretty simple on this.
And like lots of synthesizer doing things.
Yeah.
Like like all kinds of stuff all around. There's a lot of synth, and then of course you get the dun 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 dun.
Yeah, they like to do that on a variety of synths. That string riff.
Yeah, so it's all over. I was gonna say all over the place. That's not really how I would describe it, but it does all that stuff.
It hits you with everything you need for like a startup to a Eurodance track. It's like boom, the energy's here. You know what the song it's riffing on is. And we've hit the dance bridge immediately. Like,
yeah, and I mean startup, yes, but also the rest of the song.
yeah, and like the verses have almost like a dark feel to them. We got this like buzzy, like low synth. We're in 93 in the 93 in this.
Yeah.
We're approaching like some more grungy music, like slipping into like electronica as well. So we've got some of that dark, edgy energy
Doesn't
coming
feel
in
that
just
like
a bit.
dark and dirty to me.
A little bit though, compared to like the big hype up from before. We go.
It does drop down.
It drops down.
You just get the like beat with some like like lower synth, I guess, and then he's singing it because this is the like dance, but don't care too much about these words.
Yeah.
And then I mean they get back into that like bigger part for the chorus.
Yeah. It's a pretty classic build up here. There's nothing crazy. And the dance bridge is what they do for the chorus instead of the chorus. Never gonna give, never gonna give.
Right. Their kind of version of the chorus.
And they have their own bridge that comes in around 2:30.
Yeah, it's kind of a synth solo almost.
Yeah.
And then some so do I.
So do I.
So do I. And they just repeat that and then the never gonna gives as well.
Yeah, and we get like a kind of like flutish synth or something in there.
That's in this like bridge section?
I believe it is. It's barely there. It's very light.
Okay,
Is it coming more later? No.
But like from there, they just jump right back into another chorus.
Yeah, it's like, boom. Like the original song is pretty, like we said, it's once you set up everything that's in there, you get like one new element in verse 2, you get a bridge, and then it's just repeating the same instrumentals. So this dance version isn't breaking from that cycle in any crazy way. No, it's all pretty straightforward.
Not really. And it's, I mean, the original is pretty active. This one also feels pretty active. The original is somewhat repetitive. This one is fairly repetitive as well. Like it's an adaptation into this style, but like the styles aren't so different, so it doesn't feel all that different. But obviously, there's just like a lot more synth and stuff.
Yeah, totally serviceable. It's a new decade. It's a new genre, but yeah, it's not a wild jump. But what is a wild jump is to be talking about 9/11 in 1999. 9/11.
You know the rules, and so do I. I think commitment's what I'm thinking of. They go by 911, but they are 9/11. An English boy band.
Yes.
Formed in 1995. It sounds like, I mean, they were active in the 90s. They have been sporadically active since then, as most boy bands are, right? Like they've done some reunion things, some tours since then, but like aren't really the thing anymore.
No. And this is kind of what you'd expect from a 1999 boy band release. It's high production value. We've got they're pulling some interesting instrumentals at the start here, though.
Yeah, they kind of, like, I mean, it's very poppy overall, but, like, especially on the intro, you get this, like, kind of jazzy piano.
Yeah.
And, like, kit drums and, like, hand drums. So it's almost got this, like, Latin jazz pop thing going on, which I think does make some sense for 1999.
That's true, yeah.
Especially with, like, Latin influence, and then maybe the jazz by way of Latin music kind of thing, getting into pop, like, makes sense. Although as it goes through, like, the piano sticks around, but it's not playing, like, jazzy chords. It's playing pretty, less complex kind of a straightforward dun, 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 exactly. Dun, dun, dun. But they even, like, at times have that, like, funky muted guitar sound. So there's, like, a lot of influences happening.
Yeah, we were definitely a different style of pop from what Rick Astley was doing in 87.
Oh, yeah. A lot's changed in 12 years.
Yeah. We still got strings, but like you said, they're a little more like jazz influenced or like more straight orchestral or something. They like sting at the end of the lines instead of the synth brass. And they'll go like dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
Yeah, I mean, it's also more organic sounding overall. Like, I'm pretty sure they have actual strings.
Yeah, actual drums. I would bet the strings are still synth, but more organic sounding by way of better equipment.
Possible. Very possible. It is, they had better equipment.
Maybe this is the one I meant, too. Flute synth, because there's a flute synth that jumps in at like 48 seconds.
Flute synth at 48 seconds.
Does that...
Oh, yeah. Barely.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is some of that. Well, between the flute and like the electric piano sound that comes in particularly during the verse, and then there's like a marimba later on too.
Oh, yeah.
So like if you go in, it's like 240 or so. Trying to find it.
Oh, yeah, that ding, 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 like a very bell noise.
Well, there's that sound.
Okay.
Yeah, it's that sound. That's the sound. Which I'm pretty sure is like a marimba or something.
Yeah, I would.
And then like the guitar doubles it. That's on a later chorus, by the way.
Yeah. Does that marimba not get a solo, or is that a xylophone or something that gets a solo going?
Do you have a timestamp on that?
I should have. I'm gonna say before 2:45.
Got it.
Yeah, because it does come in earlier than your timestamp.
Yeah, that was just an example. Yeah, that wasn't where it came in.
So it's like maybe like 2:15. Oh, 2:11.
Oh yeah, it does get a solo. I don't know why I didn't write that one down.
I don't know why I didn't write down a fucking timestamp for it, but here we are. Let's talk about though the chorus here, in which they do kind of a fun call and response of the chorus words. So you got the backing vocals, never gonna, and then you give you up, never gonna let you down.
Right, they always trade off there.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, yeah, like that part, the lead never does. It's not like the lead joins in and does the whole never gonna give you up.
Yeah.
It just says, give you up.
Kind of a reversal of the dance bridge from the original.
Never gonna give, never gonna give.
Give you up.
Ah, I see. Interesting.
Yeah.
That is true.
So I did actually come away impressed from this version.
It's not bad. There's a lot of like things going on.
It's a solid production. It's boy band vocals for sure. Like even the lead singer is like, putting it on, but they do some interesting things even there. I think it's a good use of the backing vocals.
With the trading off.
Yeah, with the trading off. And I think, you can get too involved. You can have too many dudes singing at once, and they really just fucking reined it in. They're like, one dude's singing lead, everybody else is doing backup, and that's it.
Just hanging out. Yeah. And it's pretty good little, like, kind of jazzy, Latin-inspired arrangement.
Yeah, an unexpected arrangement that I think still lands. But these are the only covers we're talking about pre 9/11 for one, and pre the meme popping off for two.
Pre 9/11, yeah.
We always like to note once 9/11 passes, you can hear the change in the music.
Yeah, absolutely.
We got to move into the year 2007 when things start popping off to talk about the Hot Stewards.
When a stranger's still out wild, you know the rules and so do I.
Yeah, the Hot Stewards. These guys are Dutch.
Yes.
They play like pop punk, like punk rock music.
Yes.
And yeah, that's what they continue to do in this version here. Actually, the very beginning sounds kind of U2.
I was gonna say that too. It sounds very like if Bono jumped in, I would not be surprised.
Yeah, where the streets have no name or whatever.
Yeah.
So why is that? I mean, there's like a punk like. Don't usually think of U2 as punk
at some point.
They were like, I think they were called New Wave, but New Wave is like punk adjacent.
Punk adjacent. Okay, yeah, I can see it.
Although I do not think of them that way anymore. They were. The times are changed.
The times, they are changed.
But yeah, what happens in this one? I mean, a lot of the things you would expect from like a rock/punk rock cover of a song, they move a lot of things to the guitar, basically, and the drums are fast.
Yeah, so we get that dun 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 dun.
Yeah, that's kind of their riff.
Yeah,
that they have elected to use. Dun 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 dun.
Got a really grumbly bass once the vocals actually kick in. He's kind of down. He's doing a driving rhythm.
Yeah, they kind of like break down almost right away. Like there's still guitar playing chords or like picking.
Yeah, this
arpeggios kind of.
Yeah.
Or like broken up chords.
Yeah, but
But,
like just sparsely, not continuously. It'll be like a line,
Yeah, and there's
3
a lot
notes
of
on the
bass in
guitar,
between.
a lot of bass, and even the drums are broken down to just the basics. It's kick drum and like a bit of snare.
Yeah.
Or
Yes,
cymbal, I
it's
think,
a lot.
yeah.
It's a lot simpler. It's a lot
Yeah.
simpler. And that's kind of like the big elements. The drums are pretty active and almost like disco-y at times.
Yeah, they are pulling on like pop genres a bit here, and like the drums are very involved without being exactly punk.
Yeah, I mean, I like to bring up new wave again. I would kind of consider it more new wavy. Like, there's some of the punk elements for sure, but to me, they sound like they do the weird voice. And if someone does the weird voice, I'm like, new wave.
True, but vocally they also do the punk rock chorus.
They do
And
because they all
have
sing together.
screaming vocals too.
There's a
tucked in
lot
the
of
back.
group
like
vocals.
true, like hardcore. Beyond punk, we've got screaming,
Like
and growling.
unclean,
Yeah,
like vocals.
filthy,
They do.
dirty.
That's after the there's a breakdown on the second verse.
That's actually as early as 47 seconds.
Oh, they come in that early,
It's
eh?
in the
Didn't
chorus.
notice.
They're mixed far in the back, but you can hear them.
Okay.
Yeah. But they are much more prominent when you said, like, that's when they really push
Yeah.
forward.
Yeah. That's cool. The second verse is a breakdown. Like, it's kind of
Yes.
spoken. They do heavy chords.
It's almost a recitative.
It is almost a recitative. You know the game, and let's play it.
Let's play it.
Yeah, I mean, this is like approaching B-52's levels of like vocal
Oh, for sure.
performance. So yeah, no, they do the voice. They do the voices for sure, and it's fun.
Yeah, I enjoyed this one. It's got good energy. There's some good change-ups. Like you've kind of said, it almost hits like right in the middle of punk and new wave.
Yeah,
This is the overlap between the two genres.
yeah. The hot stewards are that.
They're holding
apparently.
the two genres together. They're like Spider-Man holding the ship together.
Yes. The other thing they do is they don't repeat the second verse. Cut things down a bit.
Yeah, no, they don't do that. I got no time for that.
Sorry, they growl. Yeah, but I mean, that's this one. That's the Hot Stewards.
Hell yeah.
We got
We got more to go, though.
more to go. We sure
2008, YouTube fucking lets this thing take off, and who should
Yeah.
get in on the trend but Barry Manilow?
Never gonna give, never gonna give. Never gonna give you up. Never gonna let you down. Never gonna run around and desert you. Never gonna make you cry. Never gonna sneak.
did. Yeah, no less than Barry Manilow. At this point, I believe in his 70s.
Yeah, an old fuck.
He's still alive, but he's in
Yeah.
his 80s now.
My wife has said that he looks like a discount Rod Stewart.
He does, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He is a very famous singer, though. One of the world's best-selling artists,
Best selling, really. I
according
guess
to
Copacabana is a pretty big hit.
yeah.
So is Mandy. Those are the
He's
two
sold
I know.
more than 85 million records, making him one of the world's best-selling artists. I don't know how high up on that list he is.
I mean,
because the
everybody's
highest
one
is
of the world's
600
best.
million. So,
Okay.
like, yeah, everyone's somewhere on the list, right?
Yeah.
He is in like the fourth or fifth group between 80 and 99 million
Okay.
albums. That's pretty good.
Respectable.
He's above The Weeknd, but he's below Lionel Richie.
That's, I think, a fair space for him to be in.
Yeah.
You
And
big Barry Manilow guy?
No,
No. Why would you?
I don't
be?
know Barry Manilow song. Like Mandy, I know the name.
I
I-
used to
I
blast Mandy a lot. back
Only
in
know
the
that.
day.
Yeah, I only know the name because I think he comes up in Shrek or something. Like, yeah,
Does Barry Manilow come up in Shrek?
or there's like a Barry Manilow song.
Manilow Shrek.
I
I know
can't
in
remember.
South Park, they do an episode where everybody has like Obama fever, like everybody's crazy about Obama, and I think it's Randy sings "Oh Mandy," but instead he says
Right.
Obama,
Obama.
which is pretty good.
Yeah, but like that's pretty much my exposure. Other than like I know of Barry Manilow as I think he was famous for women throwing their underwear at him on stage. Was that Barry Manilow?
Sure, Sure.
I think Frank Zappa was as well, though. So, like, it happens.
It used to be a trend, That was part of the job. One of the hazards of rock and roll or music work was getting underwear tossed
getting
at
underwear
you.
thrown at you. Speaking of Franks, supposedly Frank Sinatra once referred to him as like a sort of a successor in that area. So he's kind of that kind of crooner type guy.
Yeah, I can hear that right off the bat with this version here.
Yeah.
It's
weirdly not that much later on. I feel like he moves up after the intro.
Yeah. We start there. This kind of becomes just like a high production like disco version more than anything.
Yeah, it's like because it is very similar to the original, but they're like, let's put it on real, and it's less electronic. They play the strings. They play all the instruments.
Yeah, you can see in the music video for this, which is essentially just a studio performance.
Yeah, like on this soundstage.
Yeah, you can see all of the organic elements at play here.
You can even see that no one's playing the piano.
Yeah, fantastic.
It's there, though. There is a piano.
Present.
He also starts with "Never Gonna Give, Never Gonna Give." Interestingly enough.
Yeah, people love that. But I think it's a real hook of the song is that bridge.
Yeah, absolutely. But there's a lot of like elements in there. All of them are mostly there. There's other stuff like there's a lot of electric piano and I think guitar chords on the verse, and then the pre-chorus brings in like a funky strummed guitar, like muted guitar, and then the strings, of course, on the chorus. That's the big string riff. There's other flourishes you get from like chimes on the transition, like there's horns, or on the transition there's horns.
Right.
Don't know if they're real horns or not.
Yeah, I don't see any horns in the video.
No, I mean neither. And then there's like a brief breakdown after the bridge, like cuts down to like EP and strings, and then there's like an electric guitar that transitions out, and it's the first line of the pre-chorus. Doesn't even do the second line.
Yeah,
he doesn't do this later verse either. He just like breaks down briefly, does part of the pre-chorus, and then just jumps right into a chorus.
Yeah, it's a totally fine version. It's confident.
Yeah. Does Barry Manilow have a bit of a lisp here? Does he always have a bit of a lisp?
Sure, who am I to say?
Just wondering. I don't know.
Did you notice it on any particular line?
I can't find it now.
Okay.
It doesn't matter.
Oh, I can kind of hear it like 210. Desert you.
Yeah. It's a little, I feel like there's something going on. But now I don't know enough to know if he always sounds like that. So.
Yeah, or if that's just a slip up and they're like, who cares? This is
it doesn't really matter.
Doesn't really matter. We're just getting some Barry Manilow content into the world.
Exactly.
Which is certainly what they did with the music video.
Yeah, which, like we said, it's kind of him on the soundstage with a band.
Yeah.
You can see the backup singers and the bass and the guitars and the drums.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. Other than that, he's stiff, He's older.
70s.
He's trying to dance around. And he is, but he's definitely stiff.
Yeah. What can you do, buddy? What can you do?
And what else? Oh, yeah, he really looks at the camera sometimes.
Yeah, he's
into
barreling that fucking thing.
But yeah, that's it. That's the video.
That is the video, but that means it's time to talk about the Lost Fingers in 2010.
We're no strangers to love. You know the rules, and so do I. A full commitment's what I'm thinking of. You wouldn't get this from any other guy.
Yes, the Lost Fingers.
The Canadian hot club style jazz act.
Hot club style jazz. Oh, that's the
only non-racist
name for it. For what is often referred to as gypsy jazz.
Yes, or jazz manouche.
Jazz manouche, which just means the same thing in French. Apparently, originally inspired by this guitarist who was Romani, Gene Reinhardt, called Django Reinhardt, I think.
Django.
And he lost some of his fingers. So the band name is a reference to him.
I see. So they're the remaining fingers of Gene Reinhardt come to life to play hot club style jazz.
Django Reinhardt. Hot club style jazz.
Which I think is also a shit. Like, the problem is gypsy jazz is a better sounding name.
It sounds... It does. It's snappy, right?
It's snappy. It sounds cool. Hot club style jazz tells me nothing. That's a real President's Choice, like no name brand name of a product.
No name. We make products. Cool.
Yeah. So these guys are from Quebec. They were formed in 2006. They were nominated for Juno Awards, which, if you don't know what that is, it's our version of the Grammys. It's Canadian Grammys.
Canadian Music Awards.
The CMAs. That's the Country Music Awards.
That's the Country Music Awards.
So we got a real like oompa jangly guitar rhythm on this.
We do. I mean, they do the hot club style jazz thing of like fast guitar strumming and like
love
picking.
the guitar runs on this.
Yeah, really cool. And then like lots of like harmonies and stuff on the vocals.
Yeah.
So yeah, you get like one guitar like strumming fast, the other one fast picking runs, picked runs, and yeah, the chorus in particular gets a lot of backup vocals, but there's other variations. They do the like ahs and wah wah wahs and all that.
Yeah, wah wah wah.
Wah wah wah. So I'd say like as much as it's relatively typical of the genre, it is like very active and fun.
Yeah, and that's I think a real key thing to do in this song post 2007 is have fun with it, right?
Yeah, I mean that's like the point.
Yeah, you're not going to make a super serious version of Never Gonna Give You Up.
Yeah.
But we got walking bass on this. We've got the ooh-wah backing vocals. We get a guitar solo at 136.
Yeah, like pick guitar solo, very cool sound. I do like that sound. It's like kind of doubled too, so you hear it in both ears. It's like hard panned left and right.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So that's fun. And then they go into a bridge after that. So again, back to like lots of strumming. Never gonna. So it's like at the same time as the "Never Gonna Give" lines.
This
their version like really cooks.
Them. It does for sure.
They combine them, and then like, but it's so fast. So like they shave like 20 seconds off or something like that, just because they're like cooking, and maybe not doing the second repetition of the.
They might not. They spend so much time in this Never Gonna Give, and this guitar solo. Because eventually they add just some fucking bass lick breaks between the Never Gonna Gives in this bridge section.
Yeah, you get those like bass runs. That's fun.
Yeah, real good sound on that.
Yeah, so it's a cool sound on this one. You know, I like the genre.
I like the genre. I like what they do here. They don't get too caught up in their own like solos and stuff. It still feels like they're covering the song.
Yeah, it really feels like they've got somewhere to be, kind of, and they're like we got to cook through this one, so they do.
Yeah.
The only other note I have is like the guy's got a bit of that French Canadian accent, and then the backup vocals are like all in falsetto.
Yes, which adds to a bit of that like fun energy. That like we're having a laugh.
Right. That's pretty much that one.
That's this version.
That's that version.
But let's move all the way to Boston to talk about Phone Calls from Home, 2012.
Calls from Home.
We're no strangers to love. You know the rules.
They seem to be a rock band from Boston.
Yeah, their most recent Facebook posts from 2013, so it may be safe to say they were a rock band from Boston.
These guys may be defunct.
Yes.
Discogs.
Hey, defunct is a good name for like a funk cover group.
Defunct?
But you take the funk out of the covers.
You remove the funk. You cover funk music.
Yeah.
That is not, but in not a funky way.
But you defunk it.
Yeah, that is fun.
That's a free project for someone. These guys are like the pop version of emo.
Okay, it is 2012, so
2012. So you might just call it pop punk, but it is like it's very specifically in that emo vein, I find.
Yeah, again, moving things to the guitar. They end up with a similar sound to the Hot Stewards. Like on the guitar, because they play that down, like
that's
that
true.
ends up being very similar.
And we've got like a constant like warped guitar in in your left channel.
Yeah. Just like strumming but changing the filter or whatever.
Yeah.
Rock version, fast drums. The guitar sounds a little more muted, even though it's like heavier. Well, it's more distorted.
Yeah.
I think more than the Hot Stewards. Let me double check that. Well, in a different way. So what else happens?
A lot of filter work here, whether it's on the
Yes.
vocals or on that
Yes.
guitar.
Definitely, yeah. Very filtered down on the vocals, that like AM mic sound.
Yeah, and that'll be like the echoes they get on there. It's a very like Fall Out Boy-esque vocal delivery. Never gonna give you up.
Yeah.
And so you can
I'm
practically
thinking of-
see the hair in their face while they're singing it. Like,
I mean, I can see their photo too here on Discogs.
oh
so
shit, does it look exactly like what I expect?
I think it does, except for one guy. He's probably the
Okay.
drummer.
Oh yeah, drummer is allowed to be a little different.
Drummers are allowed to wear a ball cap.
Yeah.
What else happens in this one? Okay, so I'm focusing in on the bridge here.
Sure, yeah.
Right.
Around 208.
I have 132, but
Okay, I'm
sometimes
thinking about the breakdown.
Okay.
Yeah, here where that like emo guitar kicks in.
Yes, they do the descending
Yeah.
pattern, right? Get a bunch of kick on the drums.
Right.
Ooh, backup vocals.
Yeah.
And then
yeah.
I think they do Never Gonna Give, but they more importantly say hurt you.
Yeah.
That's like the emo move for sure.
For sure.
They like emphasize the like pain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
pain comes first.
Yeah.
Everything else is secondary.
Absolutely. And they do add Never Gonna Give, but that that's their move. That's their move. They emo-ify it.
Yeah, and then that comes into our breakdown section around 208, and it's all of a sudden never gonna give you up.
Yeah, it's like a breakdown chorus though.
Yeah.
Which is different from the other ones. Which is basically just they do the first part of the chorus, but with like just guitar strumming and
Yeah.
cut everything else out.
And then they pick it back up. We hit that like AM radio of vocal style.
Yep.
And then we're back in. It's like it's totally fine genre cover. Like it's got all this sort of hallmarks of this style of music.
Yeah, and like the original is fairly simple in terms of like its love theming. So this is definitely something you could see as like a teenage angst like thing. So it fits the genre.
Especially because they emphasize that never gonna hurt you line.
Yeah.
Hernia.
Exactly.
So yeah, we got our serious punks. Let's talk about our more fun punks, the Holophonics in 2017.
We're no strangers to love. You know the rules, and so do I. A full commitment.
Yes, ska can't take anything seriously. Ska
No.
punk. We've talked about these guys so many
Like
times.
100 times.
We talked about them for Stacy's Mom, Jesse's Girl, Feel It Still, Old Town Road, Margaritaville, I Put a Spell on You, and Hotline Bling.
That's right.
And sometimes they don't all come up, so that's at least those ones.
Yeah, those are the ones I found as well. So I think that's all of them.
And I mean, they just do a ton of covers. They do these ska punk covers. I know, I mean, obviously we talked about them before. I know the style they do in this song, they've done for other songs, though I don't remember the specifics. And that is something I've praised before, but when they do it twice, it seems a little less impressive. The first part is we're doing a ska song, and then at some point, about halfway through, but usually not quite that far in, they switch over to more like straight pop punk and stay there.
Yeah, it's like they have a dial on their amps that just on one end is ska and the other is punk,
Right.
and they just move it one way to the other.
Yeah. But it's like, it's not like a gradual shift or anything.
No,
Like,
it's a very like sharp. It's like verse 1 is ska, boom, verse 2 is punk.
Yeah, exactly. And
think
like
is
they're
exactly
done the
what they do
verses like relative, like less than halfway through. So
Yeah, this is the shortest version today, 2.5 minutes here.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, these guys are fine. They've got like the bass groove on this is pretty good. They got horns going in to do the strings. That's a good move.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you start out with your skank. It's very, very active. It really makes you feel like moving and doing the skanking dance.
Yeah.
And then, they switch into punk mode, and then it's like the chugging guitar instead of the skank kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then, yeah. The other thing they have, I guess, is the bridge, which
Right.
is mostly drums and bass. And they do the burr-do-do-do-do-do, so like bass focus, which is nice.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, I'll give you a backup vocal, which
Yeah.
we've kind of heard more or less before.
Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo.
Other than that, like the singing is fine, if not terribly notable.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, I think I've praised this technique before, but they've definitely done it before.
Yeah. It's solid, serviceable. If they played it live, people would go nuts.
And the bass sound is good.
And the
Like
bass sound, I love the bass
Yeah.
on it. And that's, come on. And they do have a music video. It's basically just them jamming in their garage here.
Which is also, we've seen before.
Yes.
We've seen them record a very similar videos in this home with
in
like
this
rugs
very
on the wall.
space. And there's like a very loose idea of pretending to be 80s America that's present here.
Oh, that's right. Because they do the like overlays of like the night, the like Milky Way, purple and blue night sky, and these like
Yeah.
action bars or like wireframe grids in 3D. That's like, ooh, digital 80s futurism.
Yeah. One of them, the bassist is clearly meant to look like Freddie Mercury. I know I said 80s America, but I guess just 80s.
Because he's got the mustache.
Like he's got the mustache and the tank top on.
Yeah, and then one of them, because it's like green screened, they also do the mustache
That's right.
with the same background.
And yeah, you got your brass guys. One of them was wearing an American flag onesie. Yeah, it's fucking whatever. And the drummer is wearing like a half shirt and a studded headband.
Yeah. It's very... I don't know exactly what... I mean, they're pushing for the 80s thing, but they're also pushing for the like low budget production kind of thing.
Yeah, really half-heartedly pushing. So
Yeah,
you kind of
like-
end up in this weird middle spot that sucks. There's like thumb. I just noticed this at 36 seconds. Whoever's holding the camera has their thumb in the shot.
Oh, at 36 seconds. Oh, I can't quite hit it.
Go a
Yep,
little
it's in the
before it.
shot.
Yeah, it is in the shot.
Excellent. So they're definitely... I mean, again, to bring up the sincerity, irony thing, they're pretty far on the irony side.
Yeah.
And that doesn't surprise me. With... I don't know why I associate irony and ska. Maybe because they're both associated with the 90s. But these guys clearly do that.
Yeah.
And like seem like they don't want to be too sincere. Though they do seem like they're having fun, but yeah, again, can't be
Yeah.
too sincere.
They kind of like audio wise, it sounds like they're having a good time. It's sincere. Music
Yeah.
video wise, it feels a bit like they're kind of half trying to play like they're not sincere. Kind of it just feels a bit half-assed.
Oh, like they haven't quite settled on whether they're sincere or not.
Yeah. But that's them. We got one more act today. Alex Christensen and the
Yeah.
Berlin Orchestra and Mike Singer.
We're not strangers to love. You know the rules, and so do I. A full commitment's what I'm thinking of. You wouldn't get this from any other guy.
Yeah, and a singer.
His name is Mike Singer, yeah.
His name is Singer.
Because he sings into mics.
He sings it to mics, exactly.
He's
Which
the
you
mic
get to
singer.
see in the music video, but we're not there yet.
We're not there yet. So Alex Christensen is a German dance music producer and the
Yeah.
former frontman of U96, who in 2017 started working with the Berlin Orchestra.
Mm-hmm.
The Berlin Orchestra is an orchestra in Berlin.
Sure is. It sure is. And then Mike Singer is a singer-songwriter, also German.
Also German.
Not from Berlin, but like, I don't know, maybe he's based in Berlin. Maybe he just went to Berlin. I don't know.
Yeah, listen, trains take you everywhere in Europe, man. You can get anywhere easy.
He's been called the German Justin Bieber.
That's something.
He was born in the year 2000.
Oh my God, he's baby.
He's a baby.
Just tiny little baby.
He's a baby of 25 years.
Yeah, that's an infant in my
That's an
books.
infant, right?
Yeah.
That's how I considered myself an infant when I was 25, right?
Yeah, I was just a wee babe. I didn't know what was going on. This version is pretty classic. Like, in some sense, it feels almost like when orchestras play video game music.
Does kind of have that sound.
There's a sound of like, God, you know these notes and this beat. look at how beautiful it is now, fully realized with an orchestra. And you're like, yeah,
Right.
but this is never going to give you up. And they're like,
Yeah, exactly.
shut up, listen.
It feels like there's so much weight put to everything.
Mhm.
Never gonna say goodbye. I mean, it's almost also like the epic trailer versions, although there's no gunshot sound effects.
Yeah, minus the gunshots plus the triumphant string blasts and things.
Yes, it
So you
is
do
very
get that
triumphant, isn't
cinematic
it?
effect. Yeah.
They seem to just they're going for this heartfelt sound, or at least that's how I felt about it.
Yeah.
With those big strings and this solemn piano.
Yeah, we have
Yeah.
a very intense intro on this with pop vocals
Yeah.
coming in, and then the string so dramatic.
And that okay, so the piano. Does that sound like something else? Or is that just in stuff?
It might just be in stuff.
Anyway, it sounds like it could be
It sounds like trailer
TV
music. That
shows.
one,
Yeah, it sounds like trailer music, exactly. It sounds like Severance theme, kind of piano, or what's the other one? The one where someone dies and then they gotta. Oh my gosh!
The one where someone dies.
The other show. It's just
The
some other
Lion
prestige
King.
drama. I don't know, man.
Oh, okay.
I haven't even watched it.
ER.
Yeah, ER.
Got it.
That's the one. Succession.
Succession. Yes.
Right?
Somebody does eventually die in Succession.
Okay. I think it is Succession, but no one died. I'm thinking of something else for the death thing, but I'm pretty sure the show I'm thinking of is Succession.
Okay.
Anyway, I haven't watched Succession. Doesn't matter. There's
Doesn't
horns
matter.
and flutes and stuff.
Yes. And they come in, the big sting is the So Do I, around 40 seconds there, where they actually do the Too Shy to Say It version of it. Dun, 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 dun.
Oh. Okay.
It's a little Easter egg for you. This just feels like you would be in a theater, in an auditorium, and there's a big screen with the original music video up, and you're looking around, people are in Rick Astley cosplay. Somebody's dressed as the bartender.
So yeah, one guy's got red suspenders on.
Yeah, and just people are crying because they're like, God, it's so beautiful.
And then it becomes the club mix for the chorus, though.
Yeah, we have, from what I can tell in the music video, is the world's oldest DJ working with some synth equipment.
That's Alex Christensen.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, so we'll talk about the music video, but yeah, he's almost 60.
Yeah.
When was this video from? Not that long ago. He's in his 50s. He's German, so it's more acceptable for older people to be DJs.
Yeah, that's just what they do in Europe.
Because they've had DJs for longer or something. I don't know, man. Something like that.
It's a more respected career line there.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's kind of that, and the synth is really only in for that part. So there's really a strong delineation between the three contributors and what they do.
Right.
Because it's we're doing this part and they're singing. We're doing the orchestral part and they're singing, and then it's but now there's also dance synths.
Yeah, they work together
they play
well
at the same
enough.
time.
Yeah.
They sound good together. But it's definitely we're adding this performer. We're taking this performer out.
Yeah. But that the synth does stick around for the second verse.
Mm-hmm.
Again, big moments. That's kind of the big thing on verse 2 because it's the same as the first, except now we have the synth in. We do get a breakdown run around 2 minutes 12 seconds. I've got for a mark here.
Give you up.
That's your never gonna give, never gonna give.
Yeah, with just some backup vocals and big is it timpani?
Yeah.
No, not that part. That's the thing in marimba again.
Mm.
Anyway, big orchestral production.
Big orchestral production.
It's big. It's strange because it feels like we're combining a dance version and an epic orchestra version into one, which is kind of interesting, but also mixed.
Yeah, and I think I like the orchestra element because they play it so straight in a sense. They're we're just gonna make it big.
There's your sincerity. They're back to the sincerity. But yeah. And it's also a dance remix.
Yeah, also
And
a
there's a
dance
music
remix.
video.
There is a music video, so this is the only way you can find out that it features Mike Singer as the singer on the mic.
Oh, he's listed in title.
Okay, if you're a nerd who checks the title credits, you can find it there too.
No, he's like he's in like
Is
the
he in
artist
the? I just
section.
didn't look that far.
Yeah, it's just like it's too big, so it gets cut off.
Okay.
But he is there.
Well, there you go.
Anyway, yeah. Feet Mike Singer. I think I noted about this video. It's in widescreen. It's very wide.
It certainly is.
And similar to, I mean, the song itself, it feels somewhat separate with the artist, or like it brings them together later though. Because Mike Singer starts on the roof of this, I don't know, something industrial looking. Maybe it's water storage or something like that. Large, like cylindrical building. Because
you do have like I assumed it was a church for some reason.
I could not tell you that is not a church.
Because then he's in a building later, but that building has windows, and I don't see windows on this building here, at least not in this shot.
It's just so round, yeah.
It's super
circular.
Circular, and in the woods.
And then it kind of like, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, it kind of jumps between like, oh, we're in the orchestra recording studio, and there's a conductor there, and then we're also in the
conductor was Alex Christensen. I don't know why I thought that.
I thought maybe, but he doesn't seem to be.
No.
And then like it shows Mike Singer in the studio singing into a mic.
Yeah.
But then, it shows that church. And like in the church, it's Mike Singer and Alex Christensen. And Alex Christensen's just like in the background with his like DJ setup and his like desk that has AC on it. So that's his initials.
Right.
And he's just like does his DJ thing in the background, while Mike Singer sings in the foreground.
That's right. Now you did miss a key moment at about 27 seconds here, where we can see that they did some of this through Zoom.
Yes, we can see the Zoom. And then I checked, like, is this COVID times? Yes, 2021. Yeah. Okay.
That's crazy because nobody in that orchestra studio is masking.
No one else is implying that at all. Other than that, they're clearly separate in the shot.
Yeah.
Like the Alex Christensen and Mike Singer, and then also at the beginning, Mike Singer's very much on his own in that like opening drone shot.
Yeah.
On the building. But other than that, there's no like masking or real distancing.
Yeah, that orchestra's packed in tight. But it's mostly shots of like him in that church, him on top of this industrial building.
Yeah. And then like some close-ups of Alex Christensen. He's very like what I think of when I think of a DJ. Not necessarily because he's a bit older than I would think of, but like his movements, because he's like a bit non-committal, but like he's like, I gotta wave my hands around without doing anything with my face. Like, okay.
Yeah, he's constantly moving the body like half-heartedly.
Yeah. Like, I gotta bop, but like I gotta focus on my knobs or whatever. Yeah. Which like fair enough, it's tough, but like
the knob work is difficult.
Yeah. But it's just kind of funny to see because it's like it makes him seem half-hearted.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily true.
But that's the music video. Kind of just a standard run-of-the-mill affair.
Okay. All right. I have a note.
Hit me with that
If you go to 204, you can see that the circular building is attached to another building. Okay. That might be where the other scenes are shot.
Ah, okay.
It's like a wing of this regular looking building.
Yeah. Oh, I see that now. That building has windows.
That building does have windows. So maybe they're just on some kind of estate.
Yes.
With like old stuff.
Do you think that circular building is a prison?
It kind of looks, the whole thing kind of looks like a prison.
Yeah. German jail.
Yeah. It's East German. I don't know. They're in Berlin.
Very strange.
I don't know.
This is the music video, but it's more importantly time for our final verdicts.
Yeah.
We got
There's
three
not much
categories.
else in that video.
Not much else. We got 3 categories: the worst version, the best version, and the version that you think has that real meme potential.
Meme potential.
That's right, baby. Which one of these can we resurrect once more the Rickrolling trend in the year 2025? Something that I've already admitted is alive and well.
It's alive and well, yeah.
Hey, what's the worst version, Alex?
What's the worst version of this song? most of them were at least fine. I gotta say, I'm struggling. I'm like, there's some I didn't like as much. Like, I didn't love the Holophonics.
Right.
But they did fine. And I know I've, like, enjoyed that style before, but I'm also like, but now I've heard it.
Yeah, you're like, do something
It's
else.
less
Now that I know
impressive.
that it's all you do, it's not as impressive.
Not as impressive. Like, you have that one thing. Not a bad thing, but I only want to hear it once or twice.
Yeah.
I feel like the one I didn't really like was kind of FKW, which might
fair
sound
enough.
strange, but that one just, I don't know, maybe it's just because it's like an older style that I am just not that into.
Right.
But like the other versions that were similar, I thought did a better job.
That's fair.
So, and I don't know, I also didn't really like the Barry Manilow version. So like, make of it what you will, but I'm probably in this moment just going to give it to FKW.
That's fair. I think that's a good choice. It is a little standard for Eurodance, but I also felt that way about Barry Manilow, where it's like, okay, we're just kind of plugging in and we're like, all right, he's going to sing.
In this exact same like time frame, we've talked about Rod Stewart's cover album or albums, I think, from this time frame, and they kind of look similar. They're doing a similar thing where it's a bit phoned in, or it feels a bit phoned in, maybe just because we don't like the genre. But like, it's this like adult contemporary, like half-hearted cover of a thing.
Yeah, you're cashing a paycheck. You're just like, well,
yeah,
I could use a little extra money right now. Fuck it, we'll knock out some covers. Here's something that's in the zeitgeist.
And a lot of these legacy acts were really struggling around that time.
Yeah,
so it feels like this is just more struggle.
Yeah, I feel that way. So yeah, Barry Manilow is my worst this week. But what's the best, Alex?
I thought there were some good ones as well. I don't know if I got like super excited about any of them, but I did think that both of the like pop punk versions did a decent job.
Mm-hmm.
And I also quite enjoyed the Lost Fingers.
Oh yeah,
because some of that hot club jazz sounds like a sandwich.
Hot
a little
jazz. It does sound like that.
And I mean 9/11. It's more fun to say 9/11.
It's a lot more fun.
911 did fine as well. I'm not going to give it to 911. They weren't in my top. I think I might give it to the Hot Stewards. I enjoyed the like new wave punkiness of it, and of course group vocals are always fun to join in on. And I just feel like their version felt a little better compared to Phone Calls from Home, even though they did a lot of very similar things. And if you were more into that late Y2K, I'm experimenting with different ways to refer to the 2000s.
I see.
So I think Y2K.
Try the aughts next.
I know aughts. I've tried aughts before. I don't know if I love it.
Y2K is pretty fucking. That makes you sound like you're living in 1999.
I know, which is maybe the idea. I don't know. Anyway, we're playing around with that, but it has that feel of like, basically pop punk / emo. I guess more like emo / rock when we were in high school. Which if you're more into that, I can see going for.
Yeah, your Fall Out Boys. Your I'm trying to think who else is in that genre in that time.
Thing is, like Fall Out Boy is like the one I know, and then I'm like Billy Talent, maybe.
Billy Talent is more.
Not
I think
really.
They touch emo, but they are a little harder in their.
Because I wasn't listening to that, so I don't really know. But I think Fall Out Boy is the good frame of reference.
Yeah, I think that'll work for intents and purposes. Yeah, I agree. I'm gonna toss it to the Hot Stewards. I think there's even something to be said about the timeliness of their version. They strike when the iron is at its hottest, right in 2007.
Yeah, they were right on.
They knocked this out. Like you said, it's got an interesting fusion of new wave and punk, which isn't that much of a fusion, but you can also distinctly hear those elements.
Just like their sound.
They're dabbling into a little of that hardcore with the vocals. I love their punk rock chorus, like vocally, big drum hits and shit. I think they do a really exciting version. Phone Calls from Home, like stylistically that type of Y2K pop punk is not really my jam. I think they do a pretty solid version as well. And there is a lot of like tech that goes into it. We talked about their bridge and all that, so it is pretty impressive. But I think it's a coin flip. And I think I would toss it to the Hosters. And like you said, 9/11 should be celebrated because they did a pretty good version here.
Fine as well, yeah.
But Alex, who's got that meme potential? Who are we gonna?
Who's got the meme
Who's
potential?
hitting TikTok? What's the
I know.
TikTok revival?
See, that's
train?
the thing, is like, which one has like a 12-second maybe soundbite that would be repeated? Who has that? Does anyone have that?
Does anyone have that? I'm gonna put my money on. I'm gonna go first here. I'd say my money's on Alex Christensen and the Berlin Orchestra.
I know. That's kind of what I was thinking too, because like you could do like a transition into the chorus thing.
Yeah.
Of the like.
Yeah, there's something about that like formal
Orchestral
verse
build into
versus
like boom, 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 boom.
dance chorus.
Because you could do kind of a like I don't frequent TikTok, but I've seen some videos, and you could do the like, I've written something on the screen. Maybe I'm making a face, and then the dance part starts, and then you do a dance kind of thing. So
Yeah,
you can,
it's
do
a
both.
twist.
So
Yeah,
I think that's got to be it, because that's the one that does both.
yes.
Um,
Get you a song that can do both.
yeah,
How's that for me?
because none of them, the other ones don't really have like moments, other than maybe the Never Gonna Gives from the FKW version. But I don't see that unless, I mean, maybe.
Yeah.
I think Alex Christensen's the one.
I think Phone Calls from Home again could have some legs here in terms of nostalgia,
Ooh,
but I do think the orchestra is where it's at. But that's our verdicts. You can tell us your own on the
Yeah.
hit app known as Blue Sky. Talk to us there at Snaky Me, at some Alex Wise guy, at some Alex Wise gay, hashtag Cover Me Pod. You can also talk to us on our email, covermepod@gmail.com. Send us your comments, questions, concerns, suggestions for future episodes. You can do that on Blue Sky as well. Be sure to rate and review us. We're on all the apps. We're on Spotify. We're on Amazon. We're on Podurama, Pocket Cast, Podbean, fuck whatever filthy pod app you have, we're on there. Tell your friends, family, and it has to be a filthy app. Any clean ones, we're not there. They don't let us in anymore.
nope.
But luckily, all podcasting apps are filthy and corrupt by nature. But tell your friends, family, neighbors, and loved ones about us. What you can really do this week to get the word out is play Cover Me at your weddings. Get the DJ to play it, and pay the bartender money to dance to it. Or at least look like he's enthusiastically into it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And then, I mean, when everybody leaves your wedding, they're not going to be happy, but they will know exactly why they weren't happy, and they will tell that to everybody who asked them about how their weekend was, you know? I'm assuming it's a weekend wedding. And that's how the word gets out. Again, like probably the best way for us to get traction in the year of our Lord 2025 is to be considered a menace in the public eye.
That's how you gain infamy.
That's how you gain infamy. People will listen, realize it's not all it's cracked up to be. There'll be controversy. Everybody will say, oh, it's not that bad. They're just like not a very good podcast. People will say, hey, fuck you, man. They're the devil's work or whatever. And then I guess in this scenario, everybody agrees that we're bad, but for different reasons. That's still pretty good. The thing is, people will be talking about us. So that's your goals for this week, folks. And that does it for today's episode of Cover Me. And as we always say on Cover Me, we know Cover Me, and we're going to play it.